Hello, my name is Rachel, and today I'll be taking you through a grounding flow. So, if your life has been feeling in chaos lately and you've just been all over the place and you want to feel grounded and centered again, this flow is for you. All you're going to need today is yourself, your mat, and 2 blocks if you have them. And if you don't have time to practice with me in this very moment, then you can go ahead and add this to your watch later list and practice with me later on. So today we are going to get started in a child's pose. So go ahead and bring your big toes to touch. Spread your knees out as wide as the mat. Sit back onto the heels and then gently fold forward, bringing your forehead onto the mat. And just bring your breath back into its natural pattern. So if you've been feeling stressed, or anxious or super busy, most likely your heart is beating really fast. Your breathing is really short. So I want you to start to calm your breath here, bringing it back to its most natural pattern. And just allowing yourself to fully relax and feel the support from the earth below you. And allow that support to help you feel safe to let go and relax. And when you're ready, slowly come on up and make your way into a tabletop position. Once you're here, make sure that your hips are directly over your knees. And we're going to take a thread the needle here. So you're going to lift your right arm straight up towards the sky, opening up the chest, and bring that right arm underneath the left, placing your right shoulder blade onto the mat. And then with your left hand, you can bring it a couple inches forward, or you can come up onto the fingertips, whatever feels better. And just breathe here. And when you're ready, slowly come on up. Make your way back into a tabletop position, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to bring that left arm straight up towards the sky, open up the chest, and then thread it underneath the right, bringing that left shoulder blade onto the mat, and bringing that right palm a couple inches forward, straightening out that right arm, and just breathe here. And when you're ready, slowly come on up and make your way back into a tabletop position. So once you're in tabletop, we'll take a couple of cat-cows. So as you inhale, arch the spine and look forward. And exhale, curl everything in. And just flow through this at your own pace. If you've been feeling stressed and anxious lately, I would take this at a slower pace. And when you're ready, you can start to take some circles around yourself with the hips. You can make these circles as small or as big as you'd like. And then take those circles in the other direction. And when you're ready, come back into tabletop. And you're gonna bring that right leg straight out behind you, tucking the toes, and just move a couple inches forward and a couple inches back, getting a nice stretch in that right calf muscle. And when you're ready, lift that right foot a couple inches off of the mat and begin to make circles with that right ankle in one direction, a couple in the other direction. And then bend that right knee, bringing it underneath the right hip. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you're gonna take that left foot straight out behind you, tuck the left toes, and move your weight a couple inches forward and a couple inches back. And when you're ready, lift that left foot a couple inches off of the mat and begin to take some circles with that left ankle. Couple circles in one direction, a couple in the other direction. And then bend that left knee, bringing it right underneath the left hip, coming back into a tabletop position. And now you're gonna go ahead and tuck your toes, lift the knees a couple inches off of the mat, and make your way back into a downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, I want you to lift the heels a couple inches off of the mat as you inhale, and exhale, bring the heels as close to the floor as possible. Inhale as you lift, and exhale as you bring them as close as possible towards the earth. And just do that a couple more times, moving with your breath. Getting a stretch in both calves. with your next exhale, come back into a down dog and walk your feet up towards your fingertips. And we're gonna come into a supported forward fold here. So you want your belly to touch your thighs, so bend your knees as much as you need to make that contact between the belly and the thighs, and then go ahead and lower the head, the neck, shake out any tension in the shoulder blades. And you can either let the arms hang here, or you can bend the elbows and grab for opposite elbows. And if it feels good, you can shake the hips from side to side. And when you're ready, you can slowly roll on up as slowly as you possibly can, inch by inch. The head and the neck come last. And we're gonna come into a Tadasana, mountain pose. So I want you to look down at your feet, make sure that they're hips width distance apart and that the toes are parallel to the front of the mat. And then look at your toes and make sure that the weight is evenly distributed between all 10 toes, and then evenly distributed between the toes, the heels, and the middle of the feet. And then go ahead and roll the shoulders back, bring your palms out to your sides, and close your eyes. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. When you're ready, you can go ahead and slowly open up the eyes. And now I want you to shift all of your weight over towards the left, and then slowly start to bend that right knee and lift those right toes off of the mat. And then you're gonna grab that right ankle, bringing that foot on the inside of the left thigh. And if it feels nice, you can press that right knee out a couple inches more, opening up the right side of your body. And then bring your palms to touch at the center of the chest, coming into a tree pose. And you can bring your focus to a point in the room and just focus on that point in the room, or you can go ahead and close your eyes. And when you're ready, go ahead and gently release that, bringing that right foot back onto the mat, making sure that the feet are still hip width distance apart. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you're gonna bring all of your weight over towards your right foot, and then begin to bend that left knee, slowly lifting the left foot off of the mat, grabbing that left ankle and placing that left foot in between that right thigh, and then placing that left palm onto that left knee, opening it up a couple of inches. And then bringing the palms to touch at the center of the chest. And just taking a couple rounds of breath here. When you're ready, you can start to lower that left leg back onto the mat and make your way back into that supported forward fold. With your next inhale, go ahead and arch the spine and then place the palms onto the mat and step back into a downward facing dog. Now with your next inhale, go ahead and lift that left leg up towards the sky, bend that left knee, and place that foot on the outside of that right wrist, coming into lizard pose on the right side. So you can either stay right here, you can bring your forearms down onto the mat, or you can also lower that left knee onto the mat and untuck the toes. But once you're here, just take a couple rounds of breath, breathing into that right hip. When you're ready, come back up onto the fingertips, place the palms onto the mat, and make your way back into a downward facing dog. This time, we're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So you're gonna lift that left leg up towards the sky, bend that left knee, and bring it right behind the left wrist, coming into lizard on the left side. So you can either stay right here, you can bring that back knee onto the mat, untucking the toes, or you can bring your forearms down onto the mat. And this time you're going to breathe into that left hip. This time you're gonna come back up onto the palms if your forearms were down on the mat, and you're going to bring that back leg, so that right foot forward, and come into a malasana squat. So we're gonna take a couple of deep breaths in this squat here. And when you're ready with your next inhale, you're gonna straighten out the knees and come on up. And exhale, come back down into a squat. And we're gonna flow through this a couple more times. So with your next inhale, straighten out the knees, come on up. And exhale to squat. Do this one more time. And with your next exhale, place your palms back onto the mat and step back into a downward facing dog. Now with your next inhale, go ahead and lift that right leg straight up towards the sky, bend that right knee, and bring that right knee right behind the right wrist, placing it on the mat, setting up for pigeon on the right side. So if you'd like, you can use your blocks here. You can place one underneath the chest and one underneath the forehead before slowly coming down onto the blocks and breathing into that right hip. ready, slowly roll on up. Move your blocks to the side of the mat. And make your way back into a downward facing dog. This time with your next inhale, you're gonna lift that left leg up towards the sky, bend that left knee, and bring it in right behind that left wrist, placing it on the mat, coming into pigeon on the left side. Once again, bringing the blocks with you if you did on the other side. And then slowly lowering yourself down onto the blocks or onto your mat and breathing into that left hip. When you're ready, go ahead and slowly roll on up. And this time you're gonna swing that back leg forward, move your blocks out to the side, and we're gonna come into a seated forward fold, but we're gonna take a supported version. So instead of trying to straighten out your legs as much as possible, the goal is to bend the knees as much as you need to make contact between the belly and the thighs and keep that contact, and then grab for the toes. And if it feels nice with each exhale, you can go ahead and straighten out the knees a little bit more while still keeping that contact between the belly and the thighs. But if not, if you don't want to straighten out your legs anymore, you could just stay right here and just breathe. Now go ahead, straighten out the legs, release that, and if you would like to take a Shavasana to end your practice, you can go ahead and pause this video and go ahead and take Shavasana for as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to end class today, then keep the eyes closed. So go ahead and close your eyes, come into a comfortable seat, and just take a couple of deep breaths here, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And let it all go through the mouth. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale. Namaste. Bye. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you absolutely love this workout and you want to keep working out with me, then definitely check out the Yoga Plus app in the link below.
Welcome to Yoga Plus. Courses available from pupil to yogi. Sort by yoga, fitness, and instructors. Create your own routines. Access the pose library. Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth, available on Google Play and the App Store.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts.